Okay, for part B, describe substantive procedures the auditor should perform to confirm Tinkerbell's year-end receivables balance. Okay, so looking at substantive procedures. Okay, for the receivables. Okay, so when we're looking at substantive procedures, okay, we're looking at our analytical, procedures, and test of details. Okay, so our substantive procedures for receivables. Okay, so the first one you'd always do, you do a debtor's circulation or receivable circulation where it's out to a sample of the debtors or receivables. Okay, I don't just pick, do you know what I mean? Like they say they've got the large ones getting a discount. Don't just pick those large ones, you pick some large, some middle, and you actually pick some that have a zero balance as well, just to have a good sample across the board. Okay, so we're going to have receivables. Circularization, C-O-R, C-U-C-U-L-E-R. I'm better with numbers than words.
Is there writing under each of them now, or are you just giving headings?
No, just a bullet point, yeah. You don't just write an essay, bullet points will do grand for it. How many marks are there for it? 8. So we're looking at 8, if we can, substantive procedures we can actually do. Okay, so trade receivables circularization for a sample. Of Tinkerbell's year-end balances. Okay, that would be the first one you'd always do for your receivables, do your circularization. Okay, an analytical procedure we could do would be calculate average receivable days and compare to per year. And investigate significant differences. Will you do those for those yeah. It's a long time since I did them, but you know what I mean, like they were that, yeah? The creditor's days and the debtor's days and it, yeah? It just because we're using receivables days here. Okay, so that would be an analytical procedure we'd actually be doing. Okay, so investigate any significant differences. What would we do with significances for a year? receivable balances and agree to valid supporting documentation. Okay, so set the sample of year-end receivables balance and agree to valid supporting documentation of GTNs and sales orders to ensure existence. Okay, because remember we're trying to link these back now to our auditing assertions. Review the reconciliation. At the sales ledger control accounts. Okay, review the reconciliation of sales ledger control accounts to the sales ledger list of balances. That's something you'd always do when you're doing your receivables and your debtors. Okay, inspect the aged receivables report to identify any slow-moving balances. Okay, so we inspect the aged receivables. So we're not just looking at the balances, we're looking at the aged receivables report to identify any slow-moving balances. Discuss it with the credit control manager to assess whether an allowance or a write-off is necessary. So like a bad debt allowance, bad debt write-off. Review the sales ledger for any credit balances. Okay, so do you mean you have a credit balance inside in your, instead of having a debit balance, you have a credit balance? And discuss with management okay, and discuss with management should these be reclassified as payables.
If someone's overpaid.
Yeah, or you know, if you've got someone who's a customer and a supplier, do you know what I mean? You might have a credit balance on it, and they just contra off and turn it in. Okay, I'll just give you one more. Okay, review the after date cash receipts and and follow through to pre-year-end receivables balance. Okay, most of them would be, fairly normal.
Same answer for every person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got 7 points, is that right?
Have I 7?
Seven.
I needed 8. I can give you another one. Is 7 all I have?
Yeah, seven.
Okay, they give one here about reviewing the board management. Okay, review board minutes of Tinkerbell to assess whether there are any material disputed receivables. Okay, that's our sales, okay, and our receivables. Okay, it's our sales system.
Immaterial disputes.
Material disputed receivables. So like they should mention at the board, like at the boardroom, in the boardroom that there's some one that's not going to pay them.
They're not going to pay off for saying to turn out it goes wrong.
Yeah, or they didn't get the goods or just stuff like that. I could go to the, probably could discuss that up, maybe the credit control manager as well. But he might have no, proof of it, whereas you're entitled to get all the minutes of the meetings near the auditor.
That'd be the ones now that have gone over their 28 days or whatever.
Yeah. Or if you agreed like 30 days from date of invoice that they have, has it gone over. Okay, if you look at the part D there, describe the substantive procedures the auditor should perform to confirm Tinkerbell's revenue. Okay, thinking about revenue, thinking about their sales. Okay, and this is looking at the profit and loss assertions. Okay, so these are substantive testing you're looking at the analytical and you're looking at the tested details. Okay, and the first analytical one you can do, you're doing with sales and revenue, your gross margin, okay, that'd be one of the ratios and formulas you can actually look at. Okay, so new one here.
It's part D.
This is part D. D. I'll go back to C, that's about fraud, that's a little bit more interesting there. Okay, so substantive procedures for revenue. think it's 4 marks for that, is it?
Yeah.
So looking for four standard procedures if we can. Okay, so an analytical procedure would be to calculate the gross margin. For Tinkerville. And compare this to prior year. And investigate any significant fluctuation. That's not margin. Jeez. Okay, calculate the gross margin. And that's a good one, Joan, it's a substantive one. There's always a ratio or something inside there for everything, like Joe, your debtors days, your creditors days, your gross margin, all that kind of stuff. Think of your ratios, you probably did with John, did you? A long time ago, yeah. It's actually management accounting, is it, yeah? And apply that now to this, and that's an analytical procedure. Okay, we have set the sample of sales invoices for larger customers and recalculate. This is my recalculation. The discounted out. Okay, and same thing, so it's a sample, okay, is important of sales invoices. Okay, we calculate the VAT element on a sample of sales invoices. Okay, compare last year's revenue with this year's figure. Okay, so let's take a sample of customer orders and agree these to the dispatch notes and sales invoices. True to inclusion in the sales ledger to ensure completeness. You see where I'm trying to get in my AEIO news, my analytical, my inquiry, my investigation, my recalculation, my observing, and then to ensure completeness of revenue, one of my assertions inside as well. And the more practice you do done with these, the easier it will become. And the substantive ones are probably maybe more easy to think of, because you're kind of relating back to it's finding the internal controls, the test, and then the objective. They can get a bit sticky, but we have plenty of practice on them. So to look at the last part of that question, it's fraud. I know we haven't done fraud, and I've been giving you notes on fraud, but just from a break from the receivables and stuff, just to give a look at the fraud element of it. So part C here is identify and explain controls Tinkerbell should implement to reduce the risk of fraud, okay? So in part B, we're asked for 6 tested controls and their objectives, okay? So we can identify the control, test the control, and give their objectives. Whereas here, we're to identify and explain controls they should implement to reduce the risk of fraud occurring. And for each control, describe how it would mitigate against the risk. Okay, so just to read about the fraud section there. During the year, a material fraud was uncovered. It involved cash check receipts from customers being diverted into employees' personal accounts. In order to cover up the fraud, receipts from subsequent unrelated customers would then be recorded against the earlier outstanding receivables balance, and this cycle of fraud would continue. The fraud occurred between 2 members of staff who were related, colluded. One processed cash receipts and prepared the weekly bank reconciliation. The other employee recorded customer receipts in the sales ledger. An unrelated sales ledger clerk was supposed to send out monthly customer statements, but this was not performed. The bank reconciliation each had a small unreconciled amount, but no one reviewed the reconciliations after they were prepared. The fraud was only uncovered when the 2 employees went on holiday at the same time and discovered that cash receipts from different customers were being applied to older receivables balance to hide the earlier sums stolen. Okay, so we're going to identify the control that should be put in place and how that would mitigate against the risk of fraud. So should 2 people who are related be working together inside in the cash office? Yeah, that could easily lead to. So that's like, don't have 2 people from the same.
Rotation of duties as well.
Yeah, yeah. And
What
so
if it's a small company and their husband and wife?
they try not to try to.
Get a related auditor.
That's it, yeah.
You were supposed to have the 3rd person there doing the bank rec, but they weren't actually doing them, so they weren't. Then you'd monthly customer statements were not being sent out. Okay, they were supposed to be sending out monthly customer statements, but they weren't. So the customer, and they're going back and taking off the older amounts, even though they should be taking them off the newer invoices. And no one reviewed the reconciliations after they were prepared. So you're thinking what we're looking for is the weaknesses inside there, aren't we? So you're looking at not having the same related staff. The customer statement should be sent out. There should be someone checking it. Okay, I'll actually give you I might actually photocopy that instead of, it's 9 o'clock now, instead of writing all that out again. Maybe just photocopy it for you and give it to you. But I'll just tell you what they actually said. Member of staff who are related should not be permitted to work in the same department where they can breed segregation of duty controls. Cash receipt should be processed by 2 members of staff, obviously not the same related staff. Monthly customer statement should be sent out promptly to all customers, and the sales ledger supervisor should review to ensure that all customers have been sent statements. Bank reconciliation should be reviewed by a responsible official on a regular basis, and any unreconciled amount should be promptly investigated and resolved. On a regular basis, staff in the finance department should rotate duties. Sales ledger should be reconciled to the sales ledger control account on a monthly basis, and its reconciliation should be reviewed by a responsible official. And management should consider establishing an internal audit department which could assess the effectiveness of controls and identify areas of weakness, as well as perform specific fraud investigations. Okay, so we identified most of them, didn't we? So I photocopy that and give it out to you. Okay, but I will be doing fraud on another night, but just a change from what we were doing. Just want to maybe do 10 minutes more and we finish up then. Yeah? just to do another exam paper. Sorry, just before I give out, just want to give you this first. This is what we were doing, debtors receivables. This is from an audit program, okay, and it gives you 12 items you can actually do the preventive procedures on, and it gives you what assertions you're actually looking at as well. Leave them out there first. Okay, and I'm going to give you one for each of these, okay, like debtors, creditors, wages, salaries, stock, all that kind of stuff. Just to read it there, if you look at number 2, obtain or prepare an age analysis of trade debtors, select a sample and circularize trade debtors or explain why circulation is not appropriate. And the assertion you're looking at is existence, obligation, existence, occurrence, valuation, and completeness. Okay, so that's what they mean all down along there. The EOVC, the VE, the VE, they're going back to the assertions. Is that alright? So you know. So verify against post-year-end receipts and any other evidence of existence. Inquire into all significant credit balances. Examine after-date sales credit notes. Reanalyze amounts due from parent subsidiaries associated undertakings. Okay, if you go to number 3, review the age listings and identify any amounts due in excess of normal credit terms. Number 4, test cut-off procedures to ensure debtors included in the correct period. Okay? 5, inquire into and verify correct treatment of stock, dispatch and sale or return. Obtain or prepare a schedule of prepaid expenses and compare with previous year. Obtain or prepare a schedule of other debtors. Extract necessary and agree intergroup or related company balances. Identify any loans from directors and ensure adequate disclosure of these is made in the financial statements. This is all debt, this is not just trade debtors. Obtain or prepare a separate schedule of debts receivable after more than 12 months. Assess the appropriateness of the accounting policy for this area. Ensure the accounting treatment and disclosure in financial statements comply with the appropriate legislation and applicable accounting standards. So I wanted more of us to show you what this is actually a real life auditing sheet you use for your debtors. And you're like, this automatically comes in what assertions you're looking at, where it's leading to, and see where the initials of the staff, the initials in there of who actually is doing it. See on top you have type, prepared by, reviewed by, staff and partner, and the date. I'm going to do that the next item about working papers, because questions come up on working papers as well, to actually draft a working paper. That's an example of a working paper as well.
And that scheduled comment, is that like you find G2 or something?
Yeah, so you'd have all them, like this is G1, so behind them you'd have all G2, all the notes and the backup for all this stuff in behind it. Just do one question before we finish off. If you go to June 2011, these are year exam papers now, June 2011. So same again, we're going to look at our requirements. Was it June 2011, question 3. And it's Applejacks Limited. requirements. Based only on information provided, identify 2 key audit issues that concern you in drafting the audit work programme for trade debtors. Draft a programme of audit work you will undertake as part of the substantive test of trade debtors, okay? The substantive test of trade debtors. And describe the appropriate substantive audit procedures to be undertaken in respect to prepayments, grants receivable and VAT recoverable. Okay, what we're about is part B, again, it's our trade debtors, our trade receivables. So you are currently working on the audit of the financial statements of Applejack Limited for the year ended 31st December 2010. Applejack Limited manufactures tin cans which are sold to Irish-based customers. The schedule below sets out the amounts included under the debtor's figure on the balance sheet of the company at 31st December 10. So we've got your trade debtors, 1,125,000, prepayments 10,000, grant receivable 17,500, VAT recoverable 11,650. Trade debtor represents 15% of turnover. There are 60 customer accounts. 3 customers account for 60% of the debtors as at 31st December 10. Provision for doubtful accounts is 414,750 and has been reduced by 50% from 2009. And the gross debtors figure has increased by 1% and there were no bad debts written off. So, number 1, based on the own information provided, identify 2 key audits that would concern you.
The big doubtful debts and no debts, not everything like that.
Yeah, the doubtful debts 414,750, okay, but that's after reducing by 50% from 2009. Okay, even though the gross debtors figure has increased by 1%. So your debtors went up by 1%, but your bad debts provision, your doubtful debts, actually went down by 50%.
And there was none written off.
And there was none written off, yeah. So like, that doesn't seem right, sure don't. And, okay, what else? That's only one thing that's all to do with bad debts.
There's a big reliance.
Yeah, 3 customers account for 60% of the debtors. Okay, so if you take debtors are 1,125,000, I just worked out 675,000 of that is for 3 different customers. So say that was just divided 3 ways. If one of them went out of business, like you're down 225,000 straight away. Okay, out of
400,000 is bad debt.
yeah.
The rest of your debt is bad debt.
Yeah, so like that's what, do you know what I mean? So you have your bad debts issue, and you've got 3 customers owe you 60% of the amount due.
So you have 3 good customers and the other 40% of your customers are crap.
Yeah. So there are 2 issues, okay? And that's all you have to do, just list them, the 2 issues. It's like 2 marks, so nothing special, just list that out. Then draft the programme of audit work you will undertake as part of the substantive test of trade debtors. Okay, so we did them a while ago. You would have your, what's the first one you'll always have? Circularization, your debtor circularization. Okay, you do your gross margin, gross margin, no, I think gross margin. The days receivables, yeah, receivable days. Okay, exactly what we had before. Okay. This one, the average receivable days and compared to prior year. Look at your selection of the year-end receivables balance. Okay, look and see have you got the board of management meetings to see is there specific accounts in dispute. Have you debtors who are also on the credit balance? Look at your post-balance sheet, your post year-end sales, okay, and cash flow, can see the amounts coming in. Okay, but if you look at, if you want to look at the answer, you obviously have all the answer, but I'm saying like exactly the same what we've done in the other one. Okay, so like even though it's the same, and it's 12 marks, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They give 10 ones here, and they give like bullet points in underneath, 3 dots of them. So your analytical review, comparative gross margins, comparative analysis using prior year and industry norms, prior year comparative analysis, number of days sales and debtors, prior year comparative analysis of makeup of debtors by customers, obtain debtors listing and reach trade debtors figure in financial statements, decide an approach to confirming debtors equalization confirmed by alternative procedure, example cash receipts and verification of shipment. You could do both. You'd always do a circularization. Debtor circularization gives strong third-party audit. That's why you're getting an external person to confirm the balance. Select sample of debtors for confirmation, statistical or judgmental sampling. Evaluate results arising from confirmation procedures and reach a conclusion. Carry out bad debt review to identify possible bad debts. Undertake cut-off tests for sales and cash receipts. Examine post-balance sheet transactions to confirm that no matters arising that affect the year-end debtor. Prepare appropriate work papers to document all the work undertaken. Okay, and if you use the sample one I give you there is actually, giving you everything inside there in it. Okay, and I'm going to do the same now for creditors and sales and wages and for assets and stuff as well. I might not, write them out completely, but actually have the solution done for you that you won't spend the night writing everything out. But I just wanted to show you tonight the difference between internal controls and substantive and how to approach them. Alright? So we leave it there for tonight? Yeah? Because I can't do the last part, I haven't done about prepayments or grants or anything like that. So if I did give you some questions to look over, maybe, from the next night on now, and then the following week we could actually maybe do them in class, just to get you thinking about the auditing stuff. Yeah? Right, so shall I see you next week for our tax? And Joe, just I have the notes, I think. I got the notes with me from the last night for, yeah? And if you can, just go up it's just what I did last night, I'll actually be continuing on with this the next week as well.